Hello, my name is Marie Daniel from My Matters Company. Here today, I would like to share with you a story for where I worked with Claudia, who received advocacy, some intervention, firstly with her and her daughter. And today, Claudia will be providing a testimonial about the service that she received. So I'm just going to introduce Claudia now. And first of all, Claudia, I'd like to thank you for being able to come and share your story. What I would like to talk to you about is, how was things for you when you met me?
Okay. When I met Marie, I've been heavily into drinking alcohol and drugs for the past 15 years. I was a functioning addict, but unfortunately my addiction was interfering with my family. My children were suffering, and at the time I was the main concern why Marie actually got involved with me, and I still couldn't stop my addiction, you know, and it was affecting my children. I had a son and a daughter that was older, and it was affecting their life. And Marie, I was also having problems with my daughter, my teenage daughter, physical fights, abuse and things, and my addiction was reflecting terribly on them, you know, and I needed the help to move on, and I couldn't do that. And Marie came and she gave us advocacy. That's where it kind of started, but there was a lot of other support I received, we all received as a family. Marie helped me come to terms with my addiction, admitting that I had an addiction, and helped me to seek help in order for me to continue with my... Marie was the first person that kind of listened, really, that didn't judge me and let me be who I was and accepted me for who I was, and was probably the first person that I trusted in a long time. Yeah, and so Marie helped me. When I met Marie, I couldn't go out the door. I was afraid to go out. You know, my world had kind of shrunk. I used to be here on my settee, just watching TV, drinking all day, and taking drugs. And Marie kind of helped me to slowly get out the door, without pressure, but would just listen to me. And when I was ready to go out, she gradually took me out. First time I didn't want to go, and we left it. She left it until another time. I suffered a lot with bulimia as well, and with anorexia in the past, and I wasn't eating. I was malnourished, and really the thought of food was not good, you know. Marie saw that. She didn't judge me, and but made it clear to me that I needed to eat because of the health of myself. You know, Marie came to she finally got me out, and killing two birds with one stone, she took me out into the society which I was afraid to go into, and she got me to eat a donut slowly, and that's how our relationship built from there. And that's the small thing, was to get me out the door and eat a donut, but it grew from there to getting my children into, there was lots of problems with my daughter's school. Marie advocated on my behalf, and had meetings with the school, and had arrangements with my daughter, and saw where they could go forward with my daughter and her behaviour, and which took pressure from me, you know, because I'd kind of stopped doing all them things. So Marie was kind of taking all the things that I weren't doing, she took on board and helped me with it. My parenting skills, you know. We had meetings with my daughter, and she spoke between myself and my daughter, and got us to talk, and listen to each other, which we hadn't done. There was no way we could have been in a room together, but the advocacy that Marie gave us helped us. You know, she also met my daughter in times when I was separately, so she kind of supported all of us, supported my son as well, and came to my appointments with me when I decided I wanted to go into detox. She came to every single appointment with me. She took me there, took me home, And yeah, and what my main concern was when I was going into the rehab, I was afraid of not knowing what was going to happen to my children, whether they were going to be safe, whether they were going to be fed. She took that all on board. She made sure my son had food and went shopping regularly. That Andy was going to school, was having good reports, and that I could go into my rehab and focus on me. Going back a bit, after I had my daughter, I did relapse, you know. I had my daughter, I went into the rehab for the first time and I relapsed. And I did continue to drink for a good while, year or so, and I kind of got tired. I'd done it, I was there for 6 weeks, you know. I stayed clean, I stayed sober, I went to my meetings, and what Marie done when I came home was encourage me to get to keep myself busy and go to get some, because I had no qualifications. She said, well, why don't you go and do your maths and English? So I did. I went and done my maths and English. She guided me on to do voluntary work, which I did. I'd done that for 3 years, you know, for victim support. I went and done my maths and English, my level 1, 2 and 3, which gave me a certificate into uni. I studied psychology for 4 years. I graduated last year, November, and I'm hoping now to be going to do my masters, and I'd like to be a counsellor for a drug and alcohol team. I'm waiting to hear for my voluntary position, so I can give back. And yeah, and and thanks to Marie, I mean, if truthfully and honestly, if I hadn't received the help from Marie with my family, I don't know, I think most children could also say where we would have gone, how things would have turned out. The fact that Marie believed in me and trusted in me and kept on consistently. It wasn't that, because I was hard work. I was hard work. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to face up to things, and I wasn't pressured, and it was just in my time. It took a long time, but she didn't get fed up, and she didn't give up, and she was patient, and I owe my life to her for that. My children do as well, because they've got a mum that they never had, you know. I have a beautiful 8-year-old daughter now who was in danger of her life, and I'm proud of all my children, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm truly grateful.
Wow, so thank you very much, Claudia, for sharing your story. That was so very deep and emotional in regards to the journey that we have gone together. And one of the things I wanted to share basically was, in light of the relationship, you know, for you to give account of how our relationship was, in a sense of, you talked about being there for you, which was one of the things when you're walking through certain problems or situation. One of the things I do is walk with the person, so that they don't feel like it's only them that's dealing with their problem. And I know you've given me a general overview of everything of what you just said.
I could give you an example of that, of walking with me as well. When I couldn't go out, in order for me to be able to go out and be comfortable around people as well, Marie took me to yoga classes, to interact, and also in the sense of, it was kind of like it was therapy, because it was good for my mind and my soul. It was keeping me active and getting exercise, but it was also for me to feel and get to know my inner self. But Marie took me to the class and done the class with me, and that was like when with the walk, and you walk the walk, and you did, you know, and you talk the talk. You done it all for me and with me. It wasn't like, this is where I say about the non-judging and no pressure. It was together. It was a journey that I felt I didn't do on my own. That's how I felt. I felt carried. I felt, like I could do it. Lifted.
Right. And I think for me, seeing you here now, seeing you talk about, the things you've done and the things that you've went through in life it's been a positive. You're very strong-minded, and you want to give back now, which I think is excellent. You're now looking at wanting to do drugs and alcohol counselling, and you're aiming to look for volunteers, and I think that's a very positive for you, and I think you've done ever so well, and well done to you. And one of the things that I would just like to say is, sometimes you'll go through difficult moments in life, and sometimes it's a time where you don't know what's going to happen unless you know that you really put all your inner strength to do the things that you want to do, and there is always hope. And I think for Claudia, I just really wish her the best of luck, because it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks very much for everything.
No problem at all. Okay. So, coming to the ending of listening to Claudia's story, which was so empowering in regards to her being able to share her moments and being very open with you to actually say, I was a functioning addict and I wasn't looking after my children, and talking to you about the stories about what was happening to her. The work that I undertaken with Claudia, it was about hoping to see her reach the best outcome. It was believing that she can do the things, and as Claudia said, being non-judgmental. And one of the things that I always said is it's never good to judge a person, and where there's hope, there's always a belief. Thank you very much. Hello, here we are again with Claudia's daughter, Andy.
Huh?
Andy will be just sharing you her story with regards to the support she received. Hello, Andy.
Hi.
So basically, Claudia was able to talk about how things were for her, and she was able to share all the moments about her drinking and how it was for her, and even include you and the family unit. What I would like you to do, if you don't mind, would just be talking about how things for you were when you received support from me.
Okay. Well, at the time that you came in to my life, we was going through hard times. Me and my mum was not conversing at all, really fighting, arguing. My mum was excessive drinking. I was excessive smoking cannabis. Two terrible combinations for a mother and daughter. It just came at the right time, to be honest. It was because you wasn't so official, like social worker. I wasn't fearful, so I knew that I could trust you, because it didn't seem like you was gonna do the thing they say they're not gonna do, rip your whole family apart. The support remained, and obviously it built both of us individually back together, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you very much. And in life with you, you can recall how things were at school for you. So if we had to just go back, how were you at school, in a sense of what did we have to work on?
I was just angry at everybody in the whole world apart from myself, and I wasn't just directing it at my mum either. I was really angry with myself, but I kind of blamed that all on my mum because she was drinking at the time. But there was things I had going on with myself that I obviously needed support with as well. And yeah, I was struggling in school. I could do the work, I just couldn't sit still, I couldn't converse, I couldn't be told what to do. And yeah, I just hated everybody that ever existed at that moment in time.
Okay, and thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
With regards to the support, what support helped you?
Faith. It's one of the main things, faith. That you had faith.
Yes.
What you saw, I could not see. You was telling me that it will get better, we will one day be at this position. You told me all these things would happen, and I just had no faith at all that you could ever. I don't know. I couldn't imagine that you could see that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just faith, stability. You're not family, but you stuck around. You saw it through.
Yes.
And just yourself mainly, if I'm honest.
And if we had to look back at you now, in a sense of how things were for you at that point, so being angry with that school, how the combination of how it was in the household, and trying to kind of look at a way forward. If we had to focus on how you stepped into accepting the support, what things did we work on to actually get you into the point of moving from how you were then to now?
Anger management and my care home played a big part in both of them, to be honest. I had just had time to myself, time away from the house, to focus on my needs because I was a child. And that was one of the things you reminded me to put myself first, and you can deal with my mum and I need to worry about me. So yeah, just time away and seeing what I was capable of away from my mum just showed me that I could really do it by myself, and my mum could do it by herself, and we was only going to be able to do it if we did it separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we look back at when Claudia, which is your mum, going into rehab, how was that for you?
Obviously we'd done it before, so it was just like, whatever, it's not going to happen. This is like an 8-month, maybe a year if you stretch it, and she's going to relapse. She seemed stronger, a lot stronger the second time round. But yeah, I hoped that she would stay recovered, but then a part of me feared that she'd recovered. I wanted her to relapse 99.9% more than I did, because it was change. Okay. I wasn't used to how my mum was going to be. I didn't know her so well. Okay. So I was a lot more scared. I'd prefer her drinking, and I'd rather put up with the life we had. But it turns out she's a lot better sober. a lot better. I had nothing to fear, which is great.
So, one of the things is it's not just only the individual also gets looked into, it's also the members of the family who also need support. And one of the things I tap into is looking at what I can do to work with the family, what we can do to bring the whole unit together. And as I said, Mind Matters will be a part of that journey with you. Thank you very much.